Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready for some boom, baby, boom? Rise and shine. It's that morning marijuana motivation time. Oh, that feels so good coming outside and it's warm. And I'm naked as the day I was born. You know, you can't see, but you can see, you know what I mean? And nothing like coming out here in the sunshine, not having to wear a coat, and not having to hide, and getting done with all my pride and fixing my body after I've did the sauna. Make sure I'm not totally naked here. Yeah, cool. After I've done the sauna, and I was so relaxed last night. It was just like, fucking hell, man. This is awesome. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Let me go get my joint. I might as well do the naked sauna morning marijuana motivation. Let's go. I'm Mark Saint. This is Saint's Addiction. And every morning I am blessed to live my life. And it's the truth. I love my life. I love what I do. You know what I mean? And I love my clothing. Wearing my samurai shorts eventually. You know? Let me show off some of these things. There's the Saints Addiction logo right there, right next to the future tattoo. We're working on it. I make all over prints, including psychedelic hoodies, which are turned inside out. Of course they are. Let's not go full nude on the show. This morning, we're going to enjoy a joint outside, naked as the day I was born, even though my hoodie doesn't want to turn inside out. It wants to be a little bitch right now. But let's put it up. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Hoodie City. There we go. Nope. And it didn't want to even stick. So there. Let's do it. Nike. There it is. See? See? Saints Addiction, baby. Saints Addiction. And it's an addiction to positivity, right? I want to turn, negativity into positivity. I want to turn my frown upside down. I want to find happiness in my own life. And I went from one of the happiest people. Oh, I just got called manic too because I love my energy and I'm not on drugs and it's not 4:30 in the morning. When people call you with that negative ass shit, you can almost bet it's never going to get positive. And this is why you want to stay in a positive way. Because for sure, it's easy to complain or mistaken or make problems where there aren't any. The hard part is changing your behavior. The hard part is changing your habits, and the hard part is changing your mood. And just like I was talking about Finland and her mood, look at this. Spring is in the air. She's finally getting to that 50, 60 degrees that I need it to be. And we're going to do a photo shoot because I please. And all these things are because of attitude. Now, I keep telling people you wouldn't let somebody with a bad attitude build your home. You just wouldn't. And the reason why is because that attitude will flow into their work. Anything that they do is going to come out sideways. If they get offended easily, if they get frustrated easily, if they lose their temper easily, you know you're dealing with somebody that you're going to have to babysit probably in longevity. And that's not what we want to do in our lives. We don't want to be someone's homework. You're supposed to go home and do that work. You're supposed to go inside and do that work. You're supposed to sit still and breathe and figure it out. But no, we want other people to pick up our mood, swallow it, and spit back diamonds. And I got news for you. That's just not how chemistry works, You put in chemicals, you get out chemicals, and there's going to be a chemical reaction. And I hope that you're part of the action and not the reaction, that you're not somebody that's just swayed by your emotions and feelings and perspectives, that you end up making it fucking happen, Captain. And that's what we're doing this motherfucking morning. Marijuana motivation. I'm in a great mood. Naked as the day I was born, in the sunshine. It's fucking warm enough for me to be naked outside in Finland. And yesterday, that was not the case. I actually looked at the thermometer. It was like +5. I'm like, it's near freezing. And then this morning she's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. And sometimes I started the show with my shirt off. And then sometimes I wear my shirts to sell them. And right now it's just such beautiful weather and I'm so free and I'm feeling myself that I'm going to go with these things. I'm going to smoke some weed with you, roll this joint from last night, look forward to it, put a bad day behind me where a model blew me off. Now I got an actual reliable model that's actually shot for me, actually coming by today, and we're actually going to use this Airbnb. Fuck what you heard. I digress. Let's go. And that's what it's going to have to take. You to digress or de-stress or de-escalate situations that be happening to all of us. I'm looking at my poor toe. Oh, kasplooey. Shit hurts. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to munch on some shit and make it taste sweet. You're going to have to find your tribe so they can get your vibe. You will have to dip and slip, bob and weave from all that negativity. I used to date this girl, she would say bob and weave, but she couldn't bob or weave. You know what I mean? It was always just like, what's good about it? And I'd be up in the morning, hey, and someone called me manic, and I'm like, no, it's a blessed day. The sun is shining, and the trees are blooming, and the birds are chirping, and you're over here like, you're manic. And I'm like, no, you're negative. That's what you are. You're negative. People that just don't understand that they only have one life, and they can ruin it with perspective. If that's your way every day, every time, is to talk shit or be negative or be self-deprecating, that's not the kind of people that you want. You want somebody to say, you look good today, or they're in a good mood. It's hard to stay. Trust and believe, it's like cancer. Negativity is like cancer. Once it's in you, it's hard to get rid of. And people just can't wait to stay negative in their life. They can't wait to complain. My guy in India that's supposed to be editing his videos, he was bitching about $100, and I'm like, bro, the password won't work. It blocked out for another half hour because you were impatient. And that's what the universe is sending you, a patience. You know, it sounds like frustration, but you need patience. And maybe there's been plenty of times where my frustration led me to ultimate destruction, and I should have been patient. I should have relaxed. I should have just sat there, calmed myself down, but I was furious and I let it go, and I lost a baby because of it. My child would have been born. Right now, I would have had an April Taurus baby just like me, and instead, I sit here with my anger, just like you have to. You have to sit there with your anger and go, what the fuck's my problem? What is the thing inside me that I gotta fix? And usually it's your attitude. Listening to Napoleon Hill, he pumps me up. You know, Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison. These guys aren't using any excuses. They failed 10,000 times. He didn't fail 10,000 times. That's how people want to paint it. No, he found 10,000 ways not to do it. That's a perspective change. You know, everybody asked Thomas Edison, this is where I related to entrepreneurship when I was a kid. I read a quote that they asked, the guy interviewed Thomas Edison and said, Thomas Edison, what would you do if you didn't invent the incandescent light bulb? And he was like, I'd still be doing it. I'd still be doing it because that was what I set out to do. And everybody has a mission and a purpose that's inside them that they are set out to do. You need to sit long enough to have that conversation with you. What am I here for? What is my purpose? And Napoleon Hill says, sit still. And he doesn't say, how did he say it? He said, I don't want you to go, what do I want to accomplish? That would be the wrong direction. The real question is, what is my purpose? What is my path? What am I designed this human body to do? And me, I always said, I was born to market. I call it marketing. I was born to reach, preach, and teach to people. This is why I have this microphone. Is this thing on? You know what I mean? This is why I get up in the morning and I spread my positivity and my love for life and my love for the nature and my love for traveling and my love for people. I really do love people. And the other day, it was so lonely here in Finland. None of my friends answered. So I started calling some old friends and dusted up some new ones, and then possibly go on an adventure. And I've been invited to go all the way past Oulu to the fucking Arctic Circle. I don't know if I want to do that, but I might just do that just because that's what the universe is calling me. Maybe that's my path. It gets me up there to Norway and Sweden, and then I can take Sweden bus all the way down to Denmark. It's a possibility. If I give my brain the possibility instead of the pessimism, then everything's available to me. My whole life is in front of me. It's just, are you afraid to follow your path? That's the real question. Are you afraid to change? The person that you are being built to be is the person that has purpose. This is what I was trying to say. A purpose-driven person can never be slave. It doesn't matter if I don't have a house. It doesn't matter if I don't have money. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I will make it happen, Captain. And this is the tenacity that I speak of. This is the whole Saints addiction, man. Before it was a brand, before some other person tried to make a Saint addiction, which I used to own the domain name. I should have kept it. But, they made a whole men's apparel line down like Santa Barbara for Saint addiction. I'm like, someone stole my name. But they didn't steal the logo. And now my cousin wants to get it tattooed on him too. That's 5 people. Kimber, I'm talking to you. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I made a big dream. I talked about my addictions openly. I had a billionaire investor that said he wasn't going to invest in anything that said addiction. And I said, well, you're investing in an addict. And that didn't end up happening. People that said, is that affliction? Pissed me off so bad. That's why I stopped selling addiction brand. Fuck John Tytex, man. He was such a dick to me. He had his whole factory, and then he was trying to control me, and then I was doing bike rallies, and I'm not even a biker, and I don't even have any tattoos. And anyway, we went in a different direction, and I made Saints Addiction. I made it into something that represented me, and then I could start designing, and I wouldn't have to listen to his shit. It's my dream to do shirts by Saints, prints by Saints, designs by Saints. It's my dream to make mostly Saints. It's my dream that I'm living to travel the world, fuck beautiful girls, and live this life to its full capacity. The thing that I can't see is me sitting there not doing anything. That was weird. That whole Saturday was made to do that whole photo shoot for someone, and I'm waiting for someone who could just block me and not show up. And it shocked me because I had been planning for 2 weeks with this girl, and at the last minute, she just quit. And I was just like, there's a lot of people that can block, but they're just blocking their blessings. They think they're just blocking me, but how many opportunities do you think you're going to see? How many times are you going to get an American in Finland that just wanted to take pictures of you in a shirt and in your underwear? If you want to get scared, then you'll get scared with the next thing and the next opportunity, and it's all under hard work. Listen to Mark Twain. Listen to, what's his fucking pseudonym name? Samuel Owens? No. What's Mark Twain's real name? Anyway, don't just live by your pseudonym, live your real life. Don't live your NPC life, your non-player character, you know what I mean? Where people just walk by and they're like, didn't even notice you. That you just live in your cubicle or in your box and you never go outside. I thought, man, nature's out there at any time you want to tap in. Anytime you want to tap into your solidarity or your balance or your center, this is where you go. In Finland, they have a famous phrase to say, you got problems, go into the forest, you won't have problems. And it's like that. But how many of us take our mood for a walk? I'll wait. Then again, life won't. It won't wait for you to change. You have to want your purpose to drive you, to drive you to this new version of you. This transformation has to take process, just like the spring. The trees have to bloom. They feel the sunshine. They already knew. And there is no going backwards. There's only continuing your choices, not to change, or to do something about it. And that was one of the big things for all of us to be like, you know what, I want to do something with my life. I don't want to just sit here at Finley Toyota selling cars during not even the pandemic, through the financial crisis 2008. I was just like, I was making almost $100,000 a year, and they were selling about 800 to 1,000 cars a month, Then all of a sudden it went to 300, 400 cars a month, nearly half or less than half. And I'm like, I can be here at 30 years old. I'm almost 30. I'm not married. I don't have any kids, or take this opportunity to travel and leave the car biz. I left 4,000 contacts. I walked away from a whole database of people and a steady income to no income, going overseas, thought I was cool, getting a fucking unemployment, and then ratting myself out within like the first 2 weeks. I'm like, hey, I'm overseas and I'm not getting my payments. They're like, how long have you been overseas? I was like, fuck. Just stabbed myself in the foot. But the journey went on, and I started to teach English, and I made it work, and then I got to learn Thai and spend 2 years in Thailand and at 30 years old. It was fantastic. And now I've been going for 15 years. I consider it a second home and a third language. That was me. That is me. I've done that. And now I can look back on my laurels, sit here in the sunshine of Finland and go, yeah, I can travel through Europe. I can travel the world and build my brands. I can make my life what I want to make it. And that's what I'm not afraid of. You know, making myself. I was gonna get self-made tattooed on my hands, but literally it's a decision of your life to say, I chose my life, or this is what life chose for me. It's a big thing, because some people, they'll identify as their car accident. You know, that car accident I got in 8 years ago or whatever time it was, you know, they still talking about it. My ex used to say, you still talk about a South Korean prison, only because it was a transformational process for me. It's not something I mention every day. Trust that. And no, I don't want to mention one of the worst days of my life, you know, one of the worst experiences of my life. I tell people to buy the book, you know what I mean? That's on Amazon Kindle, The Book Endured. But, you know, now it's blowing up. All of a sudden, over 500 views for the video, because this one influencer is going to South Korean prison. And after 10 years of me being away from prison since 2011, more than 10 years, 15 years, 14 years later, people are looking at my video going like, I wonder what that guy's going through. And it was just like, wow, it takes 15 years before you're accomplished, before you're making income and traveling the world. But would you endure being homeless in your car? Would you still persevere if your girlfriend leaves you and runs off on a fucking Harley with another dude, breaks up with you the day after your birthday, or breaks up with you before Christmas, or kills your baby? I want to know, do you have it in you? Do you have it in you to keep smiling and say life is beautiful and I want to make it beautiful? That's the picture you're painting. Every time you're doing something in your head, listen to Napoleon Hill, bro. I'm telling you, that shit's for free online right now, YouTube, and he pumps me up. He's absolutely right. You know, that I only have one life to live, and I don't want my dreams to die around me. I don't want them to be at my funeral shaking their head like, man, he could have did something. You know what I mean? I want to be something. I want to do something with my day. I want to do something with my life. I want to do something with my energy. This energy, this inner gangster of me says, you know what? Fight back. Fight against the dying of the light. I think that's your boy, William Shakespeare, one of the best writers of all time. You know, we got to fight against the dying of the light. You know, even if someone's throwing us some negativity, go, are you all right? You know what I mean? And if they aren't, then just leave them where they are. Send them love. That's what I do. I send them love. And I'm like, hey man, I hope it works out for you, you know? But I've seen them. I've seen them with their mental disorders. I've seen them with their anger issues. I've seen them with their pessimism, and left, right, and straight. And I'm going, it'll never work for you. It'll never be perfect, you know. Everybody's waiting for the perfect scenario to show up instead of just creating a scenario and going on an adventure. They want it to be perfectly mapped out instead of going on Oregon Trail. If anybody played Oregon Trail, the first video game out there, you got to get supplies. You know, little Johnny's going to get bit by a snake, and you know there's going to be some trials and tribulations. But that's the adventure. That's what makes you the most interesting man in the room, is that you've been through some things. It's not because I can drop South Korean prison or Ensenada prison or American prison. You know, I've been a felon in 3 different countries. 3 different countries. That's a story to tell. Am I proud of it? No. Are they all drug related? Yes. What was it? A gram of coke and weed in Ensenada. It was 3 grams of weed in South Korea, which makes me feel really embarrassed that it was such a small amount. Such a small amount of weed, small amount of weed, small amount of weed, small amount of weed, with so much frustration, 10 different people processing us for 10 different hours. And I spent 6 months of my life battling this, and I lost a half year of travel instead of being there. And what did I do as soon as I got out? I went straight to China. I got a job in Xi'an, started teaching English there, and the journey continued. And then I went to Thailand and fell in love with a beautiful Russian girl, and the journey continued. And sure, she broke my heart like the last one on the same island, but the journey continues. Life goes on. C'est la vie, such is life, and you raise your hands to it. Instead of saying not then, you say praise, praise. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you for the free oxygen. Thank you for the freedom to be myself. And the only thing that's keeping me from being myself is myself. So you can't be pointing and blaming other people. You can't be thinking that it's against me or because I feel a certain type of way. It'll lead you astray. It'll lead you all fucked up, especially if you're fucked up on the inside and you're inside your mind and you're just going beating yourself up all the time. How do you think it comes out? Listen to that Napoleon Hill. How do you think it comes out in your business deals? When you're frustrated or when you're in fear or when you're running scared, all of a sudden you're not throwing the ball so good. Right? You know what I mean? All of a sudden you're coming out at your friends negative or frustrated or irritated. And then you say something that you don't mean. And now you're living in regret. Instead of taking action on your mood, you're taking it out on your friends. And I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That's the number one person or people that get that sort of treatment are the people that are closest to us. They're the only ones that see that other second mask. We all have 3 layers: the outside world, the friends and family, and the one you show yourself, right? Most people are lying to themselves. This is where denial comes with. They'd be like, yeah, I'm a nice person, but then they get frustrated, and then they're aggressive with their assistant, like a Tyra Banks. Remember that? Was it Tyra Banks? Yeah, I think it was Tyra Banks that threw the phone at her assistant, dismissive. Like, Tyra Banks, you're such a nice person until you're frustrated. Even one of my favorite psychologists on here, beautiful Sadea Khan, goddamn, dog, give a dog a bone. She even mentioned that as well, that she also has anger issues. Little nice her, it's all pinned up, dolled up, and always on 10 and on 11. She even says it's always with her friends and family. You can get hungry, angry, lonely, tired, the whole halt system, and that's who we take it out on. We take it out on our kids, we take it out on our dogs, we take it out on our cats. We get frustrated. Instead of taking it out on the heavy bag or taking it out on the push-ups or taking ourselves on a walk, we opt out. We bow down, and that's what I was listening to Napoleon Hill. We bow down to our excuses. It's a peaceful surrender. We use these things and we'll say, you know what, that's a great excuse to say to ourselves. Well, of course we'll use it with other people, but we'll say it to ourselves and be like, yeah, that's the thing. That this is what ends me. Ask yourself, is this what ends you? Like, literally some paperwork. I remember my friend going, Mark, you're this close to being a multimillionaire, but you don't want to do the paperwork. And I was just like, damn, that's what it is. We're this close to being unlocked and being the best versions of ourselves. But the thing that locks us up is usually something small. The thing that throws a whole wrench in your situation will usually be something stupid like I'm too old, or I'm afraid of what people will think, or what if they laugh? This is a huge thing, and it's so bad that the woman that does she's the happiest person I know. She works at a hospice. She was a nurse that worked with people that were going to die, and they admitted a lot to her. And what they admitted to her was, she said, I wish I never let Debbie down the street control me. She was so afraid of what Debbie, some other chick, rando chick down the street, would think, that somebody down the street, it's like me thinking somebody in this other room controls me. And that's when I was with my friend. He was like, man, stop talking to so many girls. I was like, you don't tell me what to do. Nobody puts baby in the corner. I'm going to express myself. And if it's not for you, maybe you should start hanging out with someone else. You know what I mean? I'm not here to conform to you. I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I'm actually here to push boundaries. That's why I push my sexuality boundaries. That's why I push psychedelics. That's why I push marijuana. People didn't want to talk about that. They'd rather keep doing the alcohol, just like here in Finland, just pumping people. As soon as I walked in, and it was so tight to the alcohol shelf that it almost was like impossible to take a left to get away from the whole alcohol section. They just pump you full of alcohol so that way you just come back, spend your money, and then none of my friends have money for food, and they're trying to borrow money from me, and they're shaking and everything, and I'm just scared. I'm scared for their future. I'm scared for people with a life lost where all their solutions were or problem solving was just right here out by the fucking nature. All they had to do was go for a walk, and they only have like 3 months to get it in, and then you get into your pattern, and then it keeps you in, and then you don't do anything. And that's what really pissed me off about Saturday. So Sunday I got activated, started hitting up my models, and right before the end of Sunday I said I wanted to do a photo shoot, and guess what? Your boy called up Daniela, who's actually done photo shoots for me before. People talking shit on Instagram, not really reliable. I had a last minute cancellation, not really reliable, are they? I hear that joke all the fucking time. And that's the sarcasm that I'm talking about. That's the pessimism I'm talking about. That's somebody that can't wait to put someone else down. And now they're that way. And then the other girl chimed in like, yeah, I'm not really reliable. And I'm like, I block you both. Now for sure I won't do business with you. And for sure you'll never get any money from me. And the thing that you're trying to do the most is put your OnlyFans content and make some money. So you just lost another customer. You just expressed just how negative you are. And I hope other fans see it and they're just like, yeah, that's how she's gonna treat me. And there it is. You know, you're expressing how you treat life. You're expressing how you treat other people constantly, and whether you're in a good mood or you decided to be in a bad mood or wear your anger and take it out on other motherfuckers, it's not their job to be your mood. They're just going to make space and get away from you. They're going to talk shit about you when you're not around and stop answering your phone calls, and then you'll be even more alone. So, you know, there's a loneliness epidemic. You know, it's not just men, it's not just women, it's people. People are afraid of people now. They're afraid of themselves. They're afraid to make a choice. They're afraid to make a decision. They're afraid of their own action, just how powerful they are. That's what the real, holy shit, let me see. What would I be if I didn't spend all my money on cigarettes? How much healthier would I be? What would I look like if I went to the gym 3 or 4 times a week? What would my attitude feel like? They don't even want to see it. They just want to keep complaining, hold on to their habits, and keep the same lifestyle and bitch and moan till their teeth fall out. And it's just like, whatever, bro. That's whatever, bro. I'm over it. I'm on some new shit. You know, I'm on some friends that actually up in the morning. I'm on some. I got more friends to call, even internationally. I started to fucking go deeper into my Instagram messaging and found a homie that I met in Thailand that lives up north too. So it was like, shit, I might even get to go visit someone else. I know this warm weather's coming. Oh, I feel so good. I can't believe I'm butt naked as the day I was born outside, just catching a motherfucking tan, you know what I'm saying? And just enjoying this life, bro. Just enjoying this really cool life that allows me to experience things that I never thought I would. Amazing museums, amazing architecture, amazing nature, and I just keep absorbing it all. And that's where I get my manic mood from. It's just, there's so much. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back to your attitude. I can tell you that. I wouldn't put myself in your shoes. It just sounded horrible. Looked horrible, felt horrible, sounded horrible, and now you're horrible. Horrible. Is that what you want? You want a horrible life that you can just talk about how horrible it is and how horrible you've been treated and how horrible you feel? Right. No, thank you. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your psychologist. Matter of fact, you're not my time. How much of my time am I gonna lend to the weak mind, to the person that doesn't want to change and just wants to bitch? You know, there's an adage, old Russian adage, that they said the yelping dog that's too lazy to get off the pointing nail that it's laying on. You know, there's a pointed nail that we're all laying on. Will you do the push-ups to get off of it? That's really what it's all about. And that's today's morning motivation. If you got anything out of it, go out in the sunshine while you're naked. Start sunbathing. Remember that you're human. Touch nature. Get back to center. I promise you, you'll feel better. And everything on the external is just a distraction. It's synthetic and it won't last. But this right here, it lasts me. Every morning, I'm just like, fuck yeah, I'm back in this game. I can't believe I'm in a clean bed. I can't believe I got this whole house to myself. I can't believe. No, I can believe I'm in a clean bed. I can believe I got this whole house to myself. I can believe I'm traveling Europe and spreading my brands. I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Peace and love. And as always, Chigaton. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But it's the other side of your fear. It's the other side of your excuses. And it's the other side of the world, because that's where I am. Go ahead, take a look with me. It's fucking beautiful. Literally, I would have been freezing to death yesterday, but now I'm fucking enjoying this sunshine. Nice breeze. God damn. I'm telling you, some of the freshest air in the world. Best water, best air. Worst weather. But not right now. Not right now, boys and girls. Not right now. Children playing. Birds chirping. Sun shining. What a blessing. Go be free. It's spring. Yes, blessed.